Welcome to the TxPROS tutorial, Getting a Requested Route Using VIA Points in TxPROS. This video was produced by the Texas Department of Motor Vehicles, Motor Carrier Division for users of the Texas Permitting and Routing Optimization System, also known as TxPROS. TxPROS will automatically route loads using the safest and most practical route available. However, applicants can request a specific route by entering VIA points on the routing screen. For this example, we will select a route that begins on IH-30, near Mount Pleasant and ends near Galveston. Once the origin and destination are entered, click Validate and Run to view the route generated by TxPROS. To adjust the route, click the Expand button located in the top left corner near the map to open the routing options. We'll be using the VIA Points feature, which appears between the origin and destination fields. To request a specific route, select the highway option and enter the highways you want to travel, using the text.highway identifiers and numbers in order of travel, separated by commas. For example, we will enter IH-30, IH-635, IH-45. Notice that we're not entering direction indicators. TxPROS automatically determines the correct direction based on the origin and destination. Once entered, click Validate and Run to generate the updated route. While this route is longer than the original route generated by TxPROS, it travels almost entirely on the interstate highway system, which may be preferred by the driver. TxPROS allows customers to self-issue indirect routes, if the route does not involve direct backtracking or exceed 25% additional mileage compared to the direct route. If either condition is present, TxPROS will display a message indicating that the route must be reviewed by the permit office. In these cases, it is considered best practice to add a note to the application explaining why the indirect route is necessary. This can help reduce turnaround time when the permit is reviewed. The second option is to use the Find on Map feature. This is useful if you want to route through a specific city or location. For example, let's say this load needs to stop at a mechanics shop located on US 79 near Henderson, Texas. First, remove any previously entered VIA highways. Then, click the drop-down and select Find on Map, followed by Select on Map. In the Focus City box, type Henderson and click Go. The map will zoom into the town. From there, zoom in further to locate the mechanics shop. Click the Select button located above the map, then click on the map to drop a pin at the desired location. The pin will appear as a blue marker with a number, which represents the travel order if you enter multiple points. If this is the only stop, click Done above the map, then click Validate and Run to see the new route using your selected Find on Map point. If you need to review or modify the points, click Select on Map again to return to the screen where you can add, remove, or adjust locations. While using the Find on Map method, TxPROS will place your points in the order you select them by default. However, you can also insert a new point before an existing one. This is helpful if you have several points already selected but want to change the route between two of them. For example, if the generated route uses a road you would prefer to avoid, you can select an alternate point along your desired path. In this case, if we want to add a point before the mechanics shop in Henderson, we will type Lakeport into the Focus City box and select a point in that area. Then, we will choose to insert it before the previously selected Henderson point. Notice how the new point now becomes point 1, and Henderson becomes point 2. If we forget to adjust the order, TxPROS will route in the sequence shown, so the load would go to Henderson, backtrack to Lakeport, and then continue to Houston, creating an unnecessary loop. Once your points are in the correct order, click Done, then Validate and Run to see the updated route. If you need to remove a point, click the Expand button again and select Remove next to the point you want to delete. Then revalidate the route to view the changes. If you have selected multiple points, it is recommended to use Select on Map to visually confirm the exact points before making changes. To remove a specific point, Look below the map for the numbered balloon that corresponds to that location, and click Remove. Be especially careful when using Find on Map. Make sure you are zoomed in far enough to select the correct part of the roadway. For example, zooming in on IH20 will reveal 4 lanes, the eastbound and westbound main lanes, as well as the frontage roads in both directions. If you're not zoomed in far enough, you may accidentally place the point on the wrong lane or roadway, which can result in incorrect routing. This is why the highway option is often the more efficient and reliable method for customizing a route with less risk of error. This concludes the tutorial on getting a requested route using ViaPoints in TxPROS. For more information and additional tutorial videos, visit the Texas Department of Motor Vehicles website at www.txDMV.gov and enter the keyword TxPROS.